Carl Oberg of New Milford, Connecticut has spent his entire life both servicing and enjoying what these days are classic cars.
Years ago, my family had a garage in Newtown. And as I grew up as a kid, I hung around all the hot rods. From probably 63, 64 on, I worked in the garage for my dad with a rag in my pocket, to the point that I was pumping gas at 4 or 5 years old, and I'd have to call a mechanic out to open the hoods to check the oil in the customers' cars because I couldn't reach it.
So it's really no surprise that he now has a 1963 Ford Falcon Futura convertible in his garage.
But again, I grew up with Mustangs and GTOs and all the hot rods, 55 Chevys. Kids are always around the garage at night, and I loved it. When I came into my teens, when I was 15, one of our customers had a 66 Mustang, 6-cylinder, that my father got me for $25. It had 45,000 miles on it, 6-cylinder automatic. My uncle had a Ford Fairlane wagon that rotted in half. I took the 289 V8 out of that at 15 years old and put it in this Mustang. That was my first car.
About 5.5 years ago, when his father passed away, and at the urging of his wife, Oberg began a search for a classic car.
So I was looking, and my wife came to me at one point and she said, you know what, it's time. Why don't you buy yourself something? So I started looking.
He found the Falcon on a dealer's lot in far northern New York. While driving to see it, the dealer called and told him another prospective buyer was on the way as well.
I gave him my credit card number as a deposit to get rid of the other guy, and I went up and made the deal and bought the car.
Oberg's Falcon is a first-generation example. The original body style lasted from 1960 to 1963, while the model itself stuck around until 1970. What Oberg desired was something different from cars he owned in his youth.
I had a Chevelle. I had a Mustang. Everybody has them. No offense to anybody that has them. Camaros, Chevelles, Mustangs. When I saw this, they're not around, and you don't see a lot of 63 Falcon convertibles around. When I got the car was, I don't want to say a mess, but it wasn't clean. It needed a good scrubbing, top to bottom. Calipers were frozen, you know, brakes were bad. So I put on jack stands and I worked on it for a whole winter. Just a little bit in the garage, just to keep me busy.
The Falcon has a hot rod quality with a 302 cubic inch V8 engine and a 5-speed Tremec transmission. And that's why it has license plates that spell out Dirty Bird.
It's kind of an inside joke. It's a Dirty Bird. It's not clean. It's not an original car.
The Falcon doesn't get used excessively.
I drive it enough. I don't run the wheels off of it. I drive it on a nice day. My wife and I will take it up through Litchfield, Canaan, stop, have a bite to eat with the top down, go up towards Great Barrington. It drives well. It's got some pep to it. It steers well. It stops well. It's comfortable to drive. It's not something you're going to take and do 85 miles an hour on the highway, keeping up with traffic at 70, 80. I can. But it's a cruiser.
Oberg has proven to be a great caretaker for the 60-year-old Falcon.
I pride myself in keeping it spotless. You know, that's half the fun, is cleaning it, keeping it going. I'm forever under the hood. I like to wrench on it as much as I like to drive the car.
That's Ride Connecticut. I'm Bud Wilkinson, and if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to Ride Connecticut's YouTube channel.